ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
Military officials say they've notified all families of Marines and sailors involved in a tragic training exercise right off the coast of San Diego. It left one Marine dead, 8 other military members missing. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our ABC 10 News reporter Anthony Pura has more about what happened after the vehicle began taking on water.
Marines describe an amphibious assault vehicle as a tank that can float. The 15th Marine Expeditionary Unit was using them in a training exercise off San Clemente Island. They were leaving shore and were headed back towards the ship Thursday around 5:45 p.m. when one began taking on water. It had 15 Marines and 1 sailor on board.
It sank completely. Basically, the adjacent AAVs watched it go down, and as I said, 26 tons. The assumption is it went all the way to the bottom.
Officials say 2 other amphibious assault vehicles and a safety boat that were accompanying them helped pull some of the crew from the water.
They all had flotation as well. That's part of our equipment loadout that goes with it. It's an inflatable vest that they wear with that. With the rescue operations, some of those Marines were picked up because they were floating.
But 1 Marine died. 2 are in stable condition in the ICU at Scripps. 7 other Marines and 1 sailor are still missing. The military says it maintains an inventory of more than 800 amphibious assault vehicles. This is the 3rd major incident in recent years involving one. In 2017, 15 Marines were injured during a training exercise when an AAV caught on fire. In 2011, a Marine was killed when one sank off the coast near Camp Pendleton. During Friday's news conference, military officials said they would be taking a hard look at their fleet.
In the meantime, I've directed an immediate suspension of amphibious assault vehicle water operations until the causal factors of this mishap are better understood. All AAVs across the fleet will be inspected.
Anthony Pura, ABC 10 News.
Also tonight, a deadly car crash in San Marcos has had roads closed there since 5:30 tonight. The Sheriff's Department has confirmed with ABC 10 News that at least 1 person died in the accident. Right now, a section of West San Marcos Boulevard from Rancho Santa Fe Road to Knights Realm Road is closed. According to the CHP, the closure is for an unknown duration. We're told that Sheriff's homicide investigators, they're now on the scene. No word on the cause of the crash. North County Transit says they have a detour in place.
The virus is invisible, but it has very visible and, real effects.
The county announced 13 new COVID-19 community outbreaks today, all of them identified in the last 24 hours. The number of outbreaks far exceeds the goal of less than 7 outbreaks in a 7-day span. Our ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo shows us where these outbreaks were reported.
The outbreak locations range from restaurants to hotels and a grocery store. 13 new community outbreaks in the last 24 hours.
I think it's an understatement that we're doing something wrong.
The breakouts also include 3 businesses, one at a healthcare setting and another in a faith-based setting. The number of community outbreaks is now more than 5 times the trigger of 7 in 7 days.
We are seeing double the number of outbreaks in July than we saw in June, and that means that we're not controlling the spread of this.
Dr. Abby Olulade is a doctor with Sharp Steely Medical Group. She says the numbers are alarming and that if people don't follow health guidelines, we could go backwards.
We're going to have, repeated possibly lockdowns, more restrictive lockdowns, more severe measures.
On Wednesday, the county announced an amendment to the public health order requiring employers to notify their employees of any outbreaks or positive cases. Before Wednesday, it was only a recommendation. The county says they are working on a compliance team to focus on enforcement to make sure businesses are following proper guidelines.
Understandably, it's the summertime. We want to go out. We want to have fun, and we're all tired of being inside. That's a very understandable and human emotion, but the virus doesn't care about that.
Laura Acevedo, ABC 10 News.
The county also announced another 380 cases today. That brings our total to now over 29,000. 3 more deaths bring that total to 561. And California is reporting the state's first coronavirus death of a child. The teenager passed away after being treated at Valley Children's Hospital in Madera in the Central Valley. The child's name and age have not been released, but we are told that that person had underlying conditions. A hospital spokesperson says this reaffirms that children are not immune from the pandemic.
CVS is admitting to ABC 10 News that it's running into significant delays getting coronavirus test results. Michelle Nadenoff tells us that she went to one CVS drive-through. She was given a sheet that said 2 to 4 days for results, but that was crossed out with 8 to 10 written in. Nadenoff then called on day 10 but got no answer on day 16. Her negative result finally showed up, but she says it took so long the test was useless.
Until you actually you're able to deliver the results in a timely manner, you have the support of more labs, then to stop popping up in more places.
And CVS tells us they sent the sample to an independent third party to be tested. In a statement, they said the increase in cases of COVID-19 in certain areas of the country is causing extremely high demand for tests across the board. And this has caused backlogs for our lab partners and is delaying their processing of patient samples.
The CDC is now predicting the U.S. death toll could top 180,000 by the end of August. But as ABC's Zareen Shah tells us, hope for a vaccine is growing.
Tonight, a positive sign as 2 vaccines make it to the final testing stage. One of the volunteers for Pfizer's is a Louisiana doctor taking on the risk herself after seeing multiple patients not make it.
A vaccine is really what offers some hope to try to end, so much of the suffering.
Dr. Anthony Fauci today testifying on Capitol Hill, saying he feels positive.
We feel cautiously optimistic that we will have a vaccine by the end of this year and as we go into 2021.
For some, that vaccine cannot come soon enough. Students in Georgia starting to return back to school. Safety measures are in place, but masks are not required.
I have full confidence that they have put in all the right protocols.
Yet at a sleepaway camp in Georgia where campers did not wear masks, within 1 week, over 44% of campers and staff got the virus. The CDC predicting the coronavirus death toll could jump by another 30,000 in the next 3 weeks, reaching 182,000. Florida hitting its 4th straight day of breaking a record for lives lost. Loriana Hernandez Aldama says her family there just had moments to say bye to her 94-year-old father-in-law over video chat.
They called us at 6 o'clock. We were able to talk to him until 6:19. And they said that his blood pressure was going down. And by 6:30, we lost him.
Many families fearing losing so much financially now, too. 30 million Americans receiving their final $600 weekly federal unemployment benefit last week. Congress and the White House not appearing close to another solution. This Chicago bartender says the $600 was keeping her afloat.
Being able to have a roof over my head, being able to have food to eat. We are out here drowning. We are struggling.
Here in California, the health department confirmed the first teenager dying of COVID-19. The person had underlying conditions and was from the Central Valley, which is seeing a surge in cases. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And tonight, a fast-moving brush fire in Riverside County prompted mandatory evacuations. This is a live picture of where the so-called apple fire is burning in Cherry Valley. CAL FIRE says the flames were coming from 2 separate fires burning near each other, and they rapidly scorched about 900 acres so far. Smoke and flames, they were seen dangerously close to homes in the area. There were also reports of power outages because of the fire. At last report late tonight, the fire has 0% containment.
An excessive heat warning is in effect. It's especially dangerous out in the desert. Many residents in the Dulzura, Potrero, and Campo areas were without power for about half the day. SDG&E says that it canceled all non-critical planned outages for Friday and the weekend. But a spokesperson tells us the one in the Dulzura, Potrero, and Campo area was critical. So let's check in now with meteorologist Angelica Campos. She has a look at the communities that set records today for this heat. Angelica.
Kim, including Campo, today they made it to 105 degrees, tied the record of 105 from 1972. And there's a possibility that we could set records again tomorrow or either tie them in both Ramona and Poway. But the number of records for tomorrow should be fewer. We had temperatures over 100 degrees today in Ramona, breaking the record of 1996. For tomorrow, if we reach 100 degrees, we could tie the record from 1980. So clearly there is a chance. Today, 99 in Poway. Tomorrow, the forecast will keep temperatures right around 96 degrees, but getting very close to the records once again. Since yesterday, at the same time, tonight, temperatures are warmer by 5 degrees in our valleys. But there is a change and it'll get better. I'll show you when coming up.